Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your gamer dad Arculus here, back with another episode. And it's been a while since I've filmed my last episode. And you know why? Because when you're a gamer dad, life happens. Anyway, what have I been up to? I've decided to up my retro game by purchasing a couple of mini consoles, classic mini consoles right here. I got the gold special edition for Famicom and the regular US version for the NES. Why those types of versions? Well, first of all, I got nostalgia for this little thing right here. This was my very first console, but I like it on gold. It's always off for me to have a white console with a red and gold controller. So now it's uniform and it's gold, just like Zelda gold.
Gold! Gold!
As for the Super NES, I did not own a Super NES growing up, but I did play a lot of Super NES games in the locadoras we have here. And this is the Super NES that I've been accustomed to, the US version. Alright, so let's get back to gaming, go back to my backlogs. Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. Often touted as the black sheep in the Zelda series, Philips CDI Zelda games not included, and the only Zelda game its creator Shigeru Miyamoto regarded as bad. But I still wanted to play this game with an open mind and see if I can find enjoyment out of it, and maybe even join the minority that likes this game so much they openly say this is their favorite by the time I'm done with it. Anywho, let's first explore the story, since this is a direct sequel of the first Zelda game, and by now I know that most Zelda games' stories aren't connected, much like the Final Fantasy series. Okay, so the story takes place 6 years after the events of the first game. Link is now 16 years old, meaning he was only 10 when he first adventured and defeated Ganon. He notices a strange mark on the back of his left hand that looks exactly like the crest of Hyrule. He seeks out the old woman Impa for answers, who takes him to the North Castle where a door has been magically sealed for generations. Impa places the back of Link's left hand on the door and it opens, revealing a sleeping maiden within. Impa tells Link that the maiden is the original Zelda and not the Zelda from the first game. Wait, what? So the Zelda in the first game, that Zelda that held the Triforce, the Zelda that was kidnapped by the Dark Lord Ganon, that was an imposter? So Impa told the story of this original Zelda. The original Zelda's brother tried to force her into telling the recently deceased father's secrets concerning the Triforce. Original Princess Zelda refused to reveal its location, and the prince's unnamed dark wizard friend in anger struck her down with a spell. Zelda fell under a powerful sleeping spell, but the wizard was unable to control the wildly arcing magic and was also killed by the recoil. Prince, or King, since their father was already dead by then, was filled with remorse and had his sister placed in the castle tower, hoping she would one day be awakened. He also decreed that princesses born to the royal family from that point on would be named Zelda, in remembrance of this tragedy. Old woman Impa says that the mark on Link's hand means that he is the hero destined to break the curse, and by obtaining all 3 Triforces can he awaken Zelda. Thus Link sets out on his quest. Meanwhile, Ganon's followers also seeks to kill Link because, as you remember, when Ganon was defeated in the first game, he was Ganon's snapped and turned to ash. So his posse wants to sprinkle Link's blood on Ganon's ashes to bring the Dark Lord back to life. Yeah. So on to the gameplay. This is probably the weirdest Zelda game created by Nintendo. They tried something different, maybe because the original Super Mario Bros. 2 was not received well, as it looked more like an expansion pack rather than a true sequel. So this game does not resemble the first game at all. They incorporated RPG-like elements as Link can now level up his attributes, and they copied random encounters in the overworld from other RPGs. Then they switched to a side-scrolling action game for battles or whenever you enter a town, cave, or dungeon. battle is now more akin to a primitive fighting game, and man, it is not fun, I'm telling you. It also did not help that the developers intentionally made this game super hard, as in NES hard, as they already found it easy during the development process since they were playing it every day, come on. As you could imagine, this did not translate well for the consumers, us gamers. Unlike the first game where you rely on new weapons to use, make your quests easier, this game develops your fighting techniques. I mean, come on, do you really need someone to teach you how to thrust his sword upward or downward? Why couldn't they just add these skills at the beginning as the default? Much like when you play Super Mario 64, Mario already have different types of jump from the get-go. That would have made the battles a little bit easier and prevented countless unnecessary deaths, and die you will time and time and time again in this game. The worst part is, when you continue after losing all your lives, you start from Zelda's palace again. No wonder Nintendo never went back to this type of game style for Zelda, and why Miyamoto called it bad. The mystery now to me is why some people even consider this a good game. Sheesh. I wouldn't even give this game props for giving Link his moveset on Super Smash Bros. I hate his up air and down air in those games, though I tried to main him. Imagine if this game did not exist. Sakurai would have had free reign to design Link's movesets on Smash like what they did with Captain Falcon and Fox. Link would have been higher on the tier list instead of hovering on the bottom to lower tier every single game. Anyway, this is the first time I lost patience in a video game and decided that this was already becoming a waste of my time to complete, even if originally I wanted to finish it, really want to finish it. So I did what I thought I will never do when I started this Retroback series. I quit on a game. There are still a lot of backlogs waiting, and this wasn't worth my time nor patience anymore. Anyways, I'm giving this game a 3 out of 10, only because I believe there are worse games out there, and this may not be the very worst game of all time, but certainly the worst Zelda game I've played so far. So plus, I'm not a fan of the music neither. I later found out that the tracks weren't even composed by Koji Kondo, so that explains it. Will I ever pick this up again in the future? I'm 99% sure that I won't, with that 1% on account of being kidnapped and forced to play this game as the only way I'll ever replay it. How about if it was remade? Nope, this is a bad game and does not deserve a remake. The gameplay sucks, it is not fun to play, the story is convoluted, and it is not necessary to be retold. There are far too many better Zelda games out there that would benefit a remake. I'm removing this game from my checklist. In celebration of Mario's 35th anniversary, the next game on the list is Super Mario World. Stay tuned for that.
Don't forget to subscribe!